Welcome to the home gym. This is my custom Rogue Fitness rack. Before you buy a rack, please watch this video because the take-home message here is you can make these racks whatever you want them to be. I promise whatever challenge or restrictions you have in your gym is not unique to you, and someone has thought of a solution, and that has been my experience here building this thing out from originally an RM6 to a custom Rogue rack with a slinger. I got rid of the slinger, now I've got the prime single stack. Now we moved it into this, which we're gonna cover in the video. I think we can all agree buying a rack is very overwhelming with the amount of manufacturers and colors and configurations and specs, and you get on the internet, it just makes it more confusing because everyone has different opinions. So I just wanna put your mind at ease. If you get anything like this, something that's 3x3 with 1-inch holes or whatever hole spacing you so select, you can make so many changes to it to fit your space perfectly so you don't have to get it right the first time. And that has been true for me because what you're seeing is gonna be my rack in its final form forever in this space until we move here in the near future. As you can see, my rack is primarily made up of Rogue Fitness. I'm a fanboy from Ohio. I don't mind paying a little bit more for Rogue, but you don't have to. And I was watching a video the other day. The channel was called TheJungleGym Reviews, and this guy put together an incredible 6-post rack. It couldn't have been any more different than mine. It was made up of a lot of budget-friendlier brands such as Titan and Rep Fitness, but he used smaller cross members. He put the weight stack in the back. He even had adjustable dumbbell storage built into his rack. I mean, from a space savings perspective, the guy he nailed it. Now, I would not want it at all for my space. And that's what I love about this. It's all personal preference. With all that being said, the biggest and best change I made to this rack, in my opinion, was reducing it from being a traditional RM6 with 43-inch cross members to what my friend Basement Brandon calls an RM5, and now it's only 30 inches. And that saves me 13 inches, which is precious space in my little garage. And I don't want to give Brandon too much credit because it'll go straight to his bald head. But I don't know why these racks don't come standard as 30 inches. I thought when I first got it, bigger is better. I could do so much inside of the rack. Well, there is nothing you can't do inside of 30 inches that you can do within 43. Now, the one thing, I know a lot of people are putting Smith machines in their rack. Maybe that comes into play, but I love this change and I love the space that I got back to my gym. And speaking of old man Brandon, he was nice enough to gift me his white Rogue sign because I had the red. It drove me nuts. I just didn't like it. I felt like it was overdone. And I know a lot of people love it because it's classic Rogue, so it's still red on the backside, but just a simple swap like that, in my opinion, aesthetically made a huge difference. So if you start to get tired of colors, there's always a way to change it. Again, everyone's space is going to be different. So because of my layout, one of the things I had to be conscious of is when I put the low row on the prime single stack, I need to make sure I don't interfere with the rack. That's why you see it really pushed up against this side. I have a little bit of room back here, not much, and it gets a little tight in here. Just make sure I'm not eating too many cookies so I can slide in and out. But there is a reason for this setup. Now, as you can see on my last configuration, I went back to a 4-post rack when I built to the side and had the Rogue slinger set up, and that worked for a little bit of time. But when I got the prime single stack, to me, it made the most sense to go back to a 6-post rack, and shortening this from 43 to 30 inches allowed me to essentially take up no extra space by doing so. And some of the things I was able to do back here saved me a lot of space elsewhere. I've personally never seen anyone set up the rack quite like this, but again, I had unique circumstances. Usually these weight horns are gonna go out to the side of the 6-post because you can easily grab them, and it is a little bit more user-friendly when they're like that. But as I mentioned, I don't have much space on the side. One, because the wall's here. Two, because I have the single stack on this side. So I flipped the weight horns to the front because realistically behind this post is dead space, and I was able to utilize this for weight storage, and up here I was able to utilize this for bar storage. Now this is where I started to realize people in the home gym community are very innovative. They see problems, they solve problems. So my buddy Joey, who helped me put this whole thing together, gave me this Darko bar holder. It's great. It has the 1-inch hole, so you can put it on anywhere on your rack. You could put it way up there if you wanted to. For me, this is a good spot because I'm a little bit vertically challenged, so I can still grab it. However, I found that getting those bars down was a little bit challenging because the weight horns were getting in my way. So again, my friend Joey gave me these 6-inch weight horns as opposed to the 12-inch that I had, which gave me more clearance to get the bars down. So when you think you have a problem, there's probably an alternative option that you can utilize to fix it. So now I can just slide back here, grab the bar just like this, and had there been 12-inch weight horns right here, it would have been a problem, but now we're good to go. One thing I forgot to mention, by taking this from 43 to 30 inches, I needed to get new safety straps. Of course, there's an answer for that. I went on Bells of Steel website and picked up shorter safety straps, was still able to use these adapters from the original Rogue rack. So again, you can just move these things around. They're very modular regardless of what your space constraints are. And the other thing I want to call out, my garage floors are not level, right? Like most people. So I was having a hard time getting this thing to be stable. Now look at it. I mean, this thing isn't going anywhere. And one of the things that helped that was because I've been configuring so many different things, I had a few extra cross members. So if you can see down here, I put an extra cross member across the bottom. I also have a cross member across the top behind the sign that you can't see. So this thing is now perfectly square. It's not moving, it's safe, it's secure. But it's not perfect. It's never going to be. When you have a home gym, there are going to be concessions. It is a pain loading this side of the bar, getting around the side. I would love the weight horns to be out towards the side like they should be. I mean, all of these things, but guess what? You can work around it to find a solution that will work, because ultimately, all I want to do is train, and this allows me to do all of my exercises, get in all of my lifts, and still have a great looking rack. So that's it. That's my story, that's my rack. I hope you all got something from this. I would strongly suggest, if you're in the market, make sure you take a look at your space, look at options, other things that people have done. That's where I get all of my ideas, is the internet. Join the Facebook group or join whatever community is going to allow you to make the best possible decision for you.